It's my pleasure to All right, everyone, welcome to the 5th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit. A hybrid event is a platform where investors and business promoters meet for B2B network investments and partnership deals. Now, the theme for today is optimizing investment opportunities for national development. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our two panelists today, Dr. Bajwa Ajugbe Williams, who is an experienced general manager with a demonstrated history of working in the entertainment industry, skilled in educational assessment and public speaking. She's also a strong sales professional with a doctor of speaking, strong sales professional with a doctor of education, and focused on educational leadership and management from Capella University. Now, we also have Dr. Chris Brooks, managing partner and co-founder of Brown Venture Group, founding partner of Firehouse Commons, and also chairman at the Emerging Africa Forum Commerce. So it is our pleasure to have you on today. And also, I will be moderating this conversation between us. My name is Hugh Seth. So if you guys could give a quick synopsis on what's going on in your world right now, then from there we can dive into this conversation.
Excellent. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure being here. This is Badewa Adejugbe Williams, and I'm here with the team members from Nigerian Diaspora Summit Initiative. We partner with Nigerians in Diaspora Commission to host the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit. It's the 5th year, as you rightfully said. We've built traction, we have solid history. We have actually built a formidable brand in moving Nigeria and hence Africa forward. So it's a pleasure to be here.
And hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Chris Brooks. Hugh did a fair job of introducing me, so I won't be redundant. But I will tell you that I was raised by a Jamaican mother and a Jamaican grandmother, and I learned in the past couple of years that they are Nigerian Jamaicans. And so I have been on a very accelerated journey to embracing my root system, to really reconnecting with my people. And so I'm very excited to be at the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit to bring a message. I'll be talking specifically about investment in terms of how the continent can interact with the diaspora.
All right, so to my understanding, we have about 30 minutes and we have a lot to cover today, right? And I think it's fair that being that this is the 5th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit, we start with the conversation that I think many may be interested in when it comes to investing in Africa, in particular Nigeria. As we know, in sub-Saharan Africa, there are a ton of challenges, right? And Nigeria is not strange to these challenges as well. So amongst those, what would we say are some of the glaring interference when it comes to diasporas wanting to invest into the continent on a macro level, and on a micro level, specifically investing into Nigeria? What are some of the challenges that may be hindering these things from happening?
All right. Thank you so much. So now let me actually answer that by really telling you the reason and the rationale why we want diaspora Nigerians to come and invest in Nigeria. I'll speak from a different perspective. As Nigerians who have been in the diaspora, those who still live in the diaspora, they have family members in Nigeria. And every single month, people are sending money to their family members to help them because of the challenges that exist in the country, right? To help them with different things, social issues, most predominantly school fees. You know, maybe they're having wedding, money to contribute, and maybe money for shopping, for Christmas and things like that. And it's been noted that Nigerians remit billions, over 20 billion in US dollars every single year into the economy, which is almost as much as the GDP, right? Or the budget for the nation. So we're now saying these people have emotional connections to Nigeria because of their family backgrounds. They are aware of the limitations of the challenges, infrastructure challenge, security challenge, forex challenge. No matter what, they still have that social affinity. and the will wherewithal to help their family members. So because of that, they are helping, right? But now we say, let's see how we can really harness these remittances to be quantifiable in a way that it will have a ricochet effect on the economy. So how can we do this? Since Nigerians have this emotional connection to their home country, they want to help their home country. We say, instead of sending $20, $100 to your family members to help them alleviate some of the challenges in the nation, why don't we invite them to invest this money into some form of micro, small, medium enterprises? Some people have desire to invest in public sector, so they look for like public partnership with government. That is fine for infrastructural development or what might you. But when you invest in a business, that business is bound or projected to yield profit. The profit from that business can now go to take care of your family members. So you don't really necessarily need to be sending them fish now. Just teach them how to fish. Let them go and access the profits from this investment in the private sector. And by doing this, we're creating jobs. And these private sectors will probably have the capacity to employ your family members or people within their communities. When you employ people within the community, you're giving them livelihood, right? It should be sustainable in a way because the investment should have been proven feasible before people invest in it. And they can now, take care of all their social needs and at the same time pay taxes back to the nation. And the taxes will help with the economic development of Nigeria. So that is the rationale why we invite Nigerians to invest in Nigeria. Now, foreign direct investors still also like to invest in Africa, specifically Nigeria, because of the population of Nigeria. They know they can maximize because we've got the manpower, we've got the technical skills, and our people are dogged. You teach them one skill, they really excel in it beyond expectations. So we appreciate that. However, most foreigners, when they do come and invest, at the end of the day, they go back to their countries with their profits and they leave us behind and leave the people behind. So we're challenging them to also train. Let there be technical capacity as well. So this investment summit is looking for investors, looking for technical partners as well, a way for us to develop our own nation ourselves. So that is it. And that will address some of the challenges that we have in the nation.
What are some thoughts of yours, Dr. Chris?
So thank you for that actually really well thought through answer. My colleague is always on top of her game. What I would say is, I think the way that I think about this is I think about starting with the end in mind. And what is the end? Nigeria needs a future where Nigerians control the destiny of the Nigerian nation and the Nigerian people. And I think what has happened sort of historically is we think in terms of three groups of people. There's the Nigerian folks that live in Nigeria, then there's the Nigerian diaspora, and then there are those others who sort of like join in and do foreign direct investment. My proposition is actually that we consolidate and merge the first two categories so that there are only two categories. I think we need to take a very sort of like global family approach to Nigerians, and in a broader sense, take a global family approach to people of African descent. And I said this at the Emergent Africa Forum, I'll repeat it today. There's this proverb that I have been focused on for the last at least 10 years. It's an Ethiopian proverb, and it says, when spiders unite, they can tie up a lion. I think
Absolutely.
we would all agree that there has been this global lion called white supremacy that has been ravaging the earth and had a disproportionately terrible impact on Africans and people of African descent for centuries. And I think we are at a moment in human history where if we can actually come together, if the Nigerian nationals and the Nigerian diaspora, and even to an extent, broader Africans and people of African descent, if we can come together, I think we can achieve something that we've all been waiting for most of our lifetimes, and something that our ancestors died fighting for. And that is a true sense of independence, not the stuff granted to us by colonial nations in the 60s. I'm talking about true independence, where we participate and lead in the global economy, where Africa has control of its own minerals and natural resources and gets to cut its own deals and negotiate on its own terms. And I think, I'll say this when I'm in Nigeria next week, but, Nigeria is the largest Black nation on planet Earth. Nigeria must be in first position, and Nigeria must be strong. And so I've talked to a few different Nigerian folks about this over the past couple of years, and many believe that this will take 100 years. I think we can do it in a single generation.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said,
Wow.
Dr. Brooks. Thank you.
I'm very blown away from the thoughts so far. And I'm also in a state where I'm like 30 minutes is definitely not enough for this conversation, right? But now we've kind of discussed some of the challenges, and in the midst of those challenges, there were some solutions in there, right? I
Absolutely.
also think that is very important because obviously when we discuss Africa, we tend to always talk about the challenges and things that may or may not be going wrong. But I want to also dive into what are some things to be excited about when we're discussing Africa and Nigeria in specific.
All right. Definitely, we need to recognize and celebrate the fact that the diaspora can play vital roles in the economic development of our country. Beyond remittances, they can promote trade and foreign direct investments, create businesses for entrepreneurship, and transfer new knowledge and skills so that we stop losing our brains. So this, instead of brain drain, we have brain gain, which is a reversal. We need to also appreciate the fact that targeting the diaspora is an effective and sustainable strategy for attracting investment into an emerging economy like Nigeria. The population of Nigeria would more than double by 2050, making Nigeria the most densely populated country in the world, but also youthful and energetic. These are assets that we have. The ease of doing business has made Nigeria a robust destination for smart investors, jumping 12 places on the World Bank EDB ranking. So our vision of a Nigeria economy promoted through diaspora investors and partners is what we're leveraging on. We have a lot of collaborations going on with African Chamber of Digital Commerce, definitely the Emergent African Forum, and also some other relationships that have developed from that relationship from ACODF or whatever. So we want to make sure we leverage on this and explore the opportunities. Yes, there's some challenges, but these challenges present amazing opportunities. The population growth, amazing opportunities for the agri sector, amazing opportunities for the health sector, amazing opportunities for manufacturing, for infrastructure development, for education, you name it. All the sectors that we're covering during this summit is towards building a stronger nation of the future. So yes, there are challenging times ahead. So we have to deploy resilience and strategic thinking and actions to make this work. We've been diversifying the economy because Nigeria for a very long time has been really sustaining itself on the gasoline industry. Now we're diversifying, and the nation, the administration is being proactive. They've been supporting what NDIS has been putting in place. Through NDIS, we started the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, which is a vehicle to build trust within the diaspora nation, to be able to harness our remittances into a trust account where any single Nigerian, even a Nigerian in the diaspora, can access loans for their businesses, and with this, we know we'll definitely achieve what our goal is, which is a strong Nigerian nation that's able to hold its head up anywhere in the world. And we're building our economy, we're building technology. ACOFDC is there to help us with some of those relationships, and we're exploiting our strengths. Nigeria's diaspora is a key strength, and we must immediately involve them. We have to make sure that they're involved in the development of our nation in an active position, not passive. Also with the politics to make it, help us preach to the choir, which is us Nigerians, and help get the message across to government that we need to be as corruption-free as possible, because that is one of the things that has been a bit discouraging to investors. Though there's corruption all over the world, not just Nigeria, but at least, administration is moving in the right direction. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission that we're partnering with is a part of the government that's helping us to initiate, some policies that would safeguard investment in Nigeria, especially coming from the diaspora. So we have amazing things planned, and we're looking for the opportunities to partner with companies like Brown's Ventures Group, with their group of investors that they're bringing into Nigeria through Dr. Brooks, to see opportunities that will attract them to invest in Nigeria. As he said, it's the most populous nation. Anything that happens in Nigeria affects the whole world, either we like it or not. Entertainment industry, we are blowing the whole world away. Look at Dr. Brooks is going to watch Wakanda. That's our story that we're finally telling ourselves as Black nation, as Black people of African descent. We want to continue this. Nollywood, which is Nigerian film industry, has been rated #2 in the world in terms of, the quantity of films being made. The quality is improving by the day. The music industry has exploded, has taken over even the mainstream music. You listen to the radio station, you watch any video TV, all you see are predominantly African artists playing all over the world. It's just been a rapture that we're all enjoying. And we want the same thing to keep on improving. We want to impact the world in our own way, but be the ones to tell our own stories, change our own narratives, and keep our trajectory in a positive direction with our own people, for our own people. African people globally needs to unite. Either they're Africans in Africa, Africans in the diaspora, or people of African descent. We need to put hands together and work together and build a formidable team in moving our continent forward. Thank you.
I just want to say, I don't know if it's fair that I have to go after Dr. Adejube Williams every time, but I will try to bring my own sort of like diaspora spin to this. So what I will say is we are living in a world that is becoming a world without borders. And I think the really, really important part for Nigerians and to a broader extent, Africans to think about is, Nigeria is a nation. It's a piece of land on a continent, but in reality, Nigeria is global. There are Nigerians in every nation under earth, right? So if we can begin to build strong connective tissue between the Nigerian nation and all of the folks who would raise their hand and say, I'm Nigerian, and build that global community, there's nothing Nigeria cannot achieve. Every sector that needs expertise, there are Nigerians or members of the Nigerian diaspora all over the earth that bring that expertise. And by the way, when I talk, I'm assuming the brilliance and genius and beauty of the Nigerian people that live in the nation of Nigeria. That's the foundation. But then you build on top of that foundation the rest of us who love Nigeria, who love Africa. Every Black person I know in America right now has Africa on their mind. Every single one. We all understand that the nation that we live in, America, was never built for us. It was built for other people. What we do understand is that the continent of Africa, when it's at its best, could be a place where all of us converge, whether permanently or episodically, to help build out a brand new way that the continent of Africa, the nation of Nigeria, interact with this global reality, this global economy that has emerged. And if you just look at assets, there is no place on planet Earth in terms of people, natural resources, innovation, creativity, resilience. There's nowhere on planet Earth that can compete with Africa. Nowhere. So I am of the opinion that once we build this connective tissue between Africa and the African diaspora, between Nigeria and the Nigerian diaspora, we will arrive at a place that puts us in a strong position of competitive advantage. Then it's just a matter of connecting all of the dots of subject matter expertise and experience and leveraging this extremely young emerging population to build out the next iteration of human history, and Africa is at the center of the narrative.
So there seems to be a tune here of unity. I keep hearing unity, unity, unity. When we're discussing the funds that the entrepreneurs will be able to have access to, they'll in return build the nation, and also leveraging the diaspora and what have you. There's this theme of unity. So now I'm wondering, how do we go about accomplishing this goal of bringing everyone together for one common purpose, which is the progression of Africa, the progression of Nigeria?
All right. Now, I would like the opportunity, I'm not alone. I have a great support with my team members who we come together to organize this, and they are here. I'd like to have them add their inputs as well. These are all, professionals in their own right. So I'll start with Mrs. Marie David. Maybe you'll like to come and give a response to that, and then Mr. Aliyu Audu will follow, the economist. So I'll create space for her now.
Hello, everyone. This is okay. Hello, can you see me or hear me? Hi, this is Marie David, and just in direct response to your question, I believe there's a starting point, right? Rome was not built in a day, and so coming together and having events like the NDIS, the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit, we believe is a starting point. There's there are so many organizations around the world doing summits and doing conferences, but the fact that we're coming back to the continent to do this separates it from all of that. Because you could be talking about Africa in New York, talking about Africa in London, talking about Africa in Paris. You are not in Africa.
Yeah.
So despite the things you hear in the news, all of us, we don't live here, but we do come back here because we have roots here and we have families and we are part of that group of that. So we're calling our brothers and sisters, whether they be the ones born in Africa or born outside Africa, but with African roots. That's why we're saying, come on over, let's build our country. No one's going to be, the Chinese built China, the Americans built America. So let us come back and build Africa together. So I think this is a starting point, but that's not the end. It's also about all those talents that have gone out of Africa. If you look at the US, for example, there is evidence recorded that the Nigerian immigrants outperform all immigrants group, period. And in terms of their earning capacity, in terms of how they are making a difference and a mark in their industry. So how about to bring all of that back home to be a part of building our continent, especially starting with our own country, Nigeria, being the largest. But I would yield to the economists in the room. Prince Ali, you will have a comment, please.
Hello, nice to join you. This is Adetunji Adeleke, Anthony. So, sorry, I'll be listening most.
We can hear him.
You're on mute.
Mr.
Oh, am I
Adeleke.
on mute? This is Adetunji Anthony Adeleke. Nice to join you. I'll be listening most of the time because I'm visiting a friend who's at the hospital. So, but I'll listen for the greater part. Nice to be here, and I look forward to a successful event. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Bajwa, you're on mute. We can't
No,
hear you.
we're not muted. I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect.
Okay, Mr. Aliyu is here, so he's
Okay.
going to respond.
My name is Aliyu Audu. I'm an economist by profession. And, the NDIS, Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit, one of the reasons why we came up with it is because we noticed that there's a huge economy diasporans are controlling outside the country. The size of diaspora remittances is about $20 to $25 billion every year into Nigeria. The size of Nigerians' budget is about $35 billion. So a few Nigerians outside their diasporans are controlling an economy almost the size of Nigeria. So that shows you there's quite a lot of inefficiencies in this country. And that is why we're trying to bring Nigerian diasporans investors into Nigeria to invest, to tell them that, look, there's a place called home, and there are opportunities there for them to invest. As you can see, we have a lot of resources. We're quite blessed: agriculture, manufacturing. We even have the population, because one of the things that drives businesses is the market. We have a population of over 200 million. And you can imagine the United States is about 370 million, and we are 220 million. Now, if this population has the ability to be able to back up their demand, that will create a very big market. So we have the potential to become one of the big, like what China is doing, to become the biggest not only the biggest in Africa, but one of the biggest in the world. Currently, our economy is about $450 billion. And there's a forecast that we should be at 14 trillion. Look at our agriculture is quite underdeveloped, and a lot of other areas. So we have the potential is there, and we need to encourage investment into Nigeria. Recently, some people came to invest about billions of dollars in Nigeria in terms of farming to create jobs. But because of because of the insecurity situations they are seeing, they went to invest in Ghana. So we have the potential, we have the markets. We have a lot of countries don't even have agriculture. According to the African Development Bank, we could even begin to produce our sugar and export it to other countries. So our export potential is very huge. We have a lot of potential, no question, agriculture and a lot of other sectors of the economy. So the whole point of this is to encourage investors to come and take advantage of this. This is like a virgin land. America and all the foreign developing countries are saturated. You can't make a lot of profit. But in Africa, you can. In Nigeria, most especially, there's the opportunity. And that's why we want to bring investments here to turn the things around and create employment. And I believe Nigeria has that potential and there's no stopping us. Thank you.
Take the video.
Thank you. Now, Dr. Chris Brooks, if you will mind, again, the question here is, how do we accomplish this goal of unity? It seems to be an underlining theme that we've been discussing here.
I will tell you that I have spent many, many, many years of my life studying the word unity and the concept of unity. I see unity as a point on a continuum, but it is not the destination. Unity precedes what I call interdependence. And interdependence is when I can't survive without you and you can't survive without me. We are interdependent. This is what I imagine, if we are successful over time, will become true of Nigerians on the continent and the Nigerian diaspora. We will see ourselves as one large global village, one large global family. And my holy book says about my religion, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. I hurt when Nigeria hurts, right? When bad things happen to Nigeria, I take it personally. I'm not going to let people do that to my people, right? This is what we need to mobilize within the Nigerian diaspora. We need to mobilize this sense of national self-preservation, of continental preservation, where we say we are no longer going to allow predatory and extractive influences to come into Africa, come into Nigeria, extract value, but not return value. And I see trends where there are folks coming in slowly but surely who are thinking this way. But there are also those who are in the markets globally who they're going to fight against this, right? They have gotten very, very used to being able to extract on their own terms, do whatever they want. And where does it all start? It starts for us, by us, right? We need to build Nigerian power, Nigerian strength, Nigerian investment. And once we build that Nigerian power, that Nigerian strength, that Nigerian investment, it becomes sort of like a center of an ever expanding pie of the Nigerian global economy. And again, I just don't want to, I can't overstate this. Everything that we need is somewhere within the Nigerian continent or in the diaspora globally. We've got all the parts. We've got folks from engineering and gas and oil and, technology and all of the sectors, agriculture, mining. We've got all the sectors represented in the nation and in the diaspora. We just need to come together. We need to come together and we need to agree that we are going to do what's in the best interest of our people, and we are not going to sell each other out. We're gonna lock arms, we're gonna move forward together, and we're not leaving anyone behind.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Well said. Right.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation here. As I mentioned earlier, there's no way in this world there'd be enough time. And surely we've reached the top of the hour here for this conversation, at least. It's been an amazing conversation. And so I guess we can close with this. Any finishing remarks in regards to what's been discussed? And if we could start with Dr. Chris Brooks, because I know you have somewhere to be, if you could just share your last thoughts with us here.
So I'm trying to go to Wakanda. I'm just saying. So today I'll be at the movie theater at Wakanda, but next week I'll be in Abuja in Wakanda. So that's where I have to go. My final thoughts are, I want to express my deep and sincere gratitude for Dr. Ajube Williams and the leadership team, Honorable Labike, everyone that has worked very, very hard to pull this movement and this conference together. Again, I believe there are strong forces that don't want to see this happen. There are strong parts of the global economy that want Nigeria to stay down there and not rise up. And I was talking about this yesterday to one of my very close friends. Like, I refuse to let it happen. I'm not standing for it, right? if I have to die for this cause, I die for this cause. It is time for Nigeria to own all of Nigeria, to benefit from all of its assets and resources, to negotiate and do deals on the global stage with its own terms. And I'm going to bring as many people as I can with me. We've got, by the way, we're talking all about like Black folks and Africans and Nigerians right now. But where I live in the Twin Cities metro area of Minneapolis and St. Paul, there's a whole bunch of non-Black folks that want to jump in and join the fray and really, really want to see us rise up. So I think a Black-led, Black-centered, multi-ethnic, multiracial movement is emerging, and I cannot wait to join y'all next week in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We're
Thank you,
waiting
Dr.
for
Brooks.
you, Dr. Brooks. I can't wait. Really. Yeah. All right.
So I've got to drop, but
Okay, thanks.
you have my heart.
Well, for me,
Go ahead, doctor.
we know. Okay. Dr. Brooks, see you in a couple of days. All right, so for me to wrap in the production of economic goods, is income and wealth. A decrease of this, of course, is a down trump. So in order for us to stimulate or contribute to an increase in the economic growth of our nation, we've got to involve the diaspora in our movement. So that is the whole essence of this. The diaspora as an integral part of the development of the nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. This has been an amazing conversation. Again, you're here joining us at the 5th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit, a hybrid event, which is a platform where investors and business promoters meet for B2B networking, investment, and partnership deals. I'm your host for today, Hugh Seth. Thank you all for joining us.
Okay, I put the website for the registration. If anyone wants to join us, www.ndisng